story?
Which one?
I'll tell you in a second. What does Swami say about dating? In the modern world, youth should know the nature of true love. Many from abroad mix with persons of the opposite sex, calling them boyfriend and girlfriend. If you really love each other, you must get married and not continue living as friends. Swami told a group of boys from New York who had an interview with Swami. They must have discussed dating with Swami. Swami, you know what Swami said? If you meet a girl and you feel something inside and you seem to be interested in her, go ask your parents if you can get married. Because most of the time there's an attraction there that you've already, people say to me, oh, but marriage arrangement versus a love relationship. It makes no difference if it's a marriage arrangement or a love arrangement. It's been arranged before you were married. Before you were born, excuse me. It's already been arranged. You want to tell a story? The Bhajan story that Swami tells?
Well, I got two of them.
Okay.
One of them was, there's a married man, and he brings a businessman home to his house. And they have dinner. A few weeks later, the man's in town. He brings him home again. And they have dinner at his house. Very harmless, isn't it? All of a sudden, a few weeks later, there's a knock on the door. Her husband's out of town. The business guy is in town again. Oh, is your husband here? No, he's not here. He's gone. Oh, would you like to go to a movie tonight? Sure, okay. Right? She knows him, been to her house for dinner and everything. Swami said all of a sudden, crying. Now you know what that means. When Swami says crying, that means sex. Swami says, whose fault is it? And there was silence just like this. Swami said it was the man's fault, not the lady's fault. The man should have protected her and not have brought that foreign person into the home. See, that's totally against what we would have thought. We would have thought it was the lady's fault. She should have had the discrimination not to win out. Swami says, no, it was the man's fault for putting her in a position where she shouldn't be. And then, before the college boys go home in May, or not May rather, April, Swami sends the ladies out of the house and he gives them a father-son talk. And so Swami says to the boys, oh, when you go home, you know all the latest bhajans. And they want you to go to Auntie's house to sing. You go to Auntie's house and you look over, you see a girl there. Next week, you introduce yourself. Next week, you give her a note to meet you, to go to the movies. And then all of a sudden, they're at my veranda door, crying. You ran away and got married. And of course, you know what happened. He says, you only sing bhajans in centers. And then he looked at the men and said, why do you look over at the ladies? They know it's their turn to sing bhajans. Why isn't your eye straight ahead? And all the men were trying to hide. But it's true, He is so simple when he tells a simple story on our humanness. But Swami said it's really not humanist. One time, Narasimhan and Swami, the editor of the Sanatana, who's since passed away, was a very brilliant man, very, very smart. And Swami would love to get him going in debates. And of course, he could never win a debate. So one night in the house in Vrindavan, him and Swami, he's going. Finally, Narasimhan goes, oh, Swami, to err is human, to forgive divine. And he's pointing at Swami. So I thought he finally won a debate with Swami. So some months later, I'm at Puja party and I see him. And he's talking with another Indian friend of mine. And I went, oh, Narasimhan, you finally won a debate from Swami. He says, no, I didn't. You didn't know what he said in Telugu to me. He said to err is subhuman. So see, Swami's standard is so different than ours. So different. And he tells some of the boys just the way it is. You go home and your mother's going to stuff food in your face, have you sleep in, oh, you poor thing, you've been getting up so early every day, blah, blah, blah. And he tells the kids what they're going to experience when they go home, how they're going to be spoiled by their parents, because they've been suffering in Swami school. You know, and it's the truth. It's the absolute truth. And then he tells them how they're acting with the girls and how not to act with the girls. I mean, it's you know.
Swami's very strict. He doesn't want us to add any karma to our life this time. He wants us to attain self-realization. And the very best thing we can do if you're single is to, if you're attracted to someone, find out if you can set up some kind of a situation to communicate with the parents so that you can talk and learn a little bit about each other, but in a safe environment. In a safe environment. When Swami comes in darshan, you know, there's so many people in there. They're all asking Swami, what about my marriage partner? Even those who have lost a marriage partner. Everybody's looking. And poor Swami, he gets bombarded by all this, you see. And what does Swami say? When I was just a young boy, I asked Saima, who will she be? Will she be pretty? Will she be sweet? Here's what he says to me. Om Sai Ram, Sai Ram, whatever I will be. The future's not yours, you see. It belongs to me. It belongs to me. That one for a long time, but that's the
Hey,
truth.
wait a minute. Well, what about you, the girls? You just said the
You mean you
boys.
want me to go through this blunder again?
Well, I mean,
I think once
you're
is
being-
enough.
You're being prejudiced. The girls got to ask Swami too, you know.
When I was just a young girl, I asked Saima, who will he be? Will he be handsome? Will he be rich? Here's what Saima said to me. Om Sai Ram, Sai Ram, whatever I will be. The future's not yours, you see. It belongs to me. It belongs to me. Now is that equal? Okay, you want to put your chair over there? What does Swami say? You know, we have so many divorces today, and it's because of the things we've been talking about. And one of the things Swami says about divorce, I love it. He says, do not get confused in the matter of marriage. You have